stopping by the obviously authentic channel. My name's Leah, and that's spelled Lea and not Leah. So, what's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the channel. If this is your first time, hello. And if you're returning, what's up? I hope you subscribe and stay. And if you don't, still, what's up? I hope you're having a good day. So we're going to be talking about Hilda, episode 10, the Yule Lads. I actually really enjoyed this episode. Out of all the episodes I've reviewed, I think this is one of my favorite. I even did a little research on the characters in this actual episode, so I'm gonna share that with y'all when we get there. But this is season 2, episode 10 of Hilda. It's titled The Yule Lads. So it opens up and it's winter in Trollberg. There is a festival and it's to celebrate the solstice. I think I'm saying it, y'all. Y'all know if I'm looking down, it's the handy dandy notes, but I think it's the solstice tree bloom. These Nordic words are horrible for me. I'm horrible. My country accent. So basically it's kind of their version of somewhat, I would say, Christmas, but it's kind of weird to me because David and Frida were explaining to Hilda what the festival was for, which is it's for this beautiful tree that blooms only in the winter and only at night. And I was like, well, why doesn't Hilda know? Because they also exchange gifts. So I'm like, I guess her and Joanna didn't celebrate this in the forest where they were living. So I was like, maybe it's not their version of Christmas, but I feel like it is because the Yule Lads are a part of Christmas, in Nordic fairy tales or Nordic mythology or what's the other? Yeah, fairy tales. So they're kind of, we'll get there. So basically, Hilda, Frida, Twig, and David are heading to the festival spot where they have the festival, and they're selling Sparrow Scout veggie broth, and that's something that everyone likes, and they get to keep the tips, which I was like, oh, that's nice. And basically, Hilda wants to buy her mom a beautiful snow globe for the festival, and because she feels like she's being on her mom's nerves, basically, and we see why she's being on her mom's nerves. And David explains to her, yo, you get really good tips, so you can buy it because the snow globe is $35, and obviously Hilda and them are 11, so they don't got cash readily available like that. So as they're walking, this is where Hilda she put herself in dangerous situations. And there's this random cabin in the middle of the city that they know is not supposed to be there. They end up unlocking the door, and Frida even was like, they're having a party, we weren't invited. And Hilda's like, well, they wouldn't have left the door unlocked. I'm like, girl, okay. So they go inside, and basically we meet the Yule Lads, and their leader is Snickers. But he said call him Kurt, which I'm happy about. And so my information that I got is that all their names mean something, and we'll get there. But it says the Yule Lads arrive. The Yule Lads arrive over the course of the last 13 nights before Christmas, beginning December the 12th. One then departs each day, beginning on Christmas Day, in order that they arrive. Thus, each of them stay for 13 days. Okay. And I found this off of Wikipedia, but there's other websites, but I just like how they have it on Wikipedia. So when we get there, so basically, the first one always arrives on December the 12th, and that means he wouldn't leave until December the 25th. So then the last one out of the 13 Yule Lads doesn't leave until... Okay, the 20. So one comes on the actual Christmas Eve on the 24th, and that is actually Kurt comes that day, and he won't leave until January the 6th. So basically, the Yule Lads tell David, Frida, and Hilda that they're here to take away naughty children. And it's later on, they learn from Frida and them, they're there's naughty adults and naughty children. So basically, there's 13 of them, and their job is to, take away the naughty kids. And basically, they're at so we switch over to the festival, and the kids are selling the broth. They're doing really well, and Kurt is upset because they haven't been able to find any naughty kids. Well, then we get a flash to Trevor, who's like being reprimanded by his mom after the mom is being real mean to Twig and tells her son to stay away from Frida, and says that not Frida, but Hilda, and says that she's a witch. Because we know last season Trevor was annoying and almost got himself killed trying to kill the lightning. I think it was like the lightning raven or the lightning bird. He's a dick. And so basically, Trevor's just a troublemaker and a bully. And so when Kurt and them sees this, they decide to take away, like they end up kidnapping Trevor and his mom. And that's after Frida made mention that there are naughty adults too. And she said that Trevor's mom is naughty. So they notice the next day of the festival that she's not at her booth and that it's closed. And that's because, like I just said, they got kidnapped by them. So then we flash over and we see Hilda. She's at the flat with, everybody, with Twig, Tonto, Alfred, and her mom. And Hilda and her mom are like arguing because wherever Hilda goes, she leaves a mess. And like Tonto and Alfred are telling her like, girl, you are messy. Like, it's annoying and kind of like wrong that we watch your mom clean up after you every day. Side note, Tonto could help like pick up. So I know Alfred can't, but Tonto could help. Like, he over here acting like, well, I get tired of looking at her clean. And I'm like, well, you got hands, you could help. You like to take everything, you could help, bruh. But he decides not to help. But basically, she apologizes to her mom. And that's when we get the story at night of Grilla. So basically, Grilla is an ogress who eats naughty children. So she's like the Nordic version of Krampus. Because I think Krampus is German. But if I'm wrong, my bad. But I think Krampus is German. But we all know who Krampus is. He's like the anti-Santa who like he takes away and basically punishes naughty children. Like, I think he either eats them or kills them. I don't know. But they say Grilla basically takes naughty children. She can smell the naughty on children and she eats them or she puts them in a stew. She only wakes up every 1 year around this time of winter, and she sleeps the whole and all throughout the year until it becomes, I guess, the tree bloom. So yeah, she an ogress. So then we end up, Hilda gets up the next morning and the house is kind of messy. And she kind of gets on Joanna about being messy when she's like, you always complain about me being messy, but you're messy. And then she's back at the booth with Frida and David, and Kurt is there. And she's complaining about her mom being a hypocrite. So then Kurt takes that as like, oh, your mom is bad. So he kidnaps her mom in the middle of the night. Well, Joanna had a book of the story of Grilla because Hilda wanted to know more information about her. And when she's doing it, she is on the passage and she finds out that the Yule lads are basically Frida's slaves. Not Frida's, Grilla's slaves. And they are tasked with catching the naughty children so they don't get eaten themselves for being naughty. So they end up finding out what their names all really mean, like all the Yule lads, and they confront them. And basically the Yule lads talk about how they don't like what they do. They don't like having to like kidnap people. And the crazy thing is what happened was like Kurt was the first one to get in trouble. So he was like, well, I can bring you back 2 more people. So then when the other 2 kids got, taken to Grilla, they told her, oh, we can bring back 4 more people, and so on and so forth. And then they ended up with 21. But one of the Yule lads tells the group that tells them that she caught on to what we were doing and she ate numbers 14 through 21. So that's why there's 13. And so like on Wikipedia, I end up finding out what their names mean, which I thought was like hilarious. So like I said, Kurt or Kersnicker is called, and they said this in the episode, he's the candle stealer. So, and this says he follows children in order to steal their candles, which were once made of, I think it's towel and tusk that are edible. Okay, so that's why he likes to eat candles. So towel and it says towel and tusk is basically meat and butter. That's nasty. But he comes on Christmas Eve on the 24th of December, and then he doesn't leave until January the 6th. And then one of them is called Kernickers? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not about to butcher these names. But all their names mean something about what they do, and what they do is wrong. So their names, so you have the other one who stays the second longest. He comes on December the 23rd, and he doesn't leave till January the 5th. And his name represents the meat hook. So he uses his hook. So the one that you see in the show who has a hook, like kind of like Little Bo Peep, he uses a hook to steal meat. And then there's a doorway sniffer. Okay. He comes on December the 22nd, and he doesn't leave till January the 4th. It said has an unnormally large nose and an accurate sense of smell, which he uses to locate loaves of bread. So I guess he steals people bread. And then you have the window peeper. So we know who that is. The window peeper. And basically he comes on December the 21st, and he doesn't leave till January the 3rd. And it basically says a snoop who looks through windows in search of things to steal. And then they have the sausage swiper. He hides in the rafts and snatches sausages that are being smoked. And he comes on December the 20th, and he doesn't leave till January the 2nd. And then you have the sugar gobbler, who are the sugar. And it basically says sugar is similar to yogurt. Yeah, it's Icelandic pudding, or their version of Greek yogurt. And he basically has an affinity of sugar, and he comes on December the 19th and doesn't leave till January the 1st, but he steals people's sugar. Then you have the door slammer. He likes to slam doors, especially during the night, waking up people. He comes December the 18th and doesn't leave till December the 31st. And then you have the bowl licker. He comes on December the 17th and doesn't leave till December the 30th. And he said he hides under the beds waiting for someone to put down their cusker. And it's basically a type of bowl with a lid used instead of dishes. And then he steals them. Then you have the stealer of leftovers from pots. And he is horrible because I hate when people steal leftovers, especially if you've been thinking about your leftovers while you've been at work or at school or out with your friends. And he basically steals and licks wooden spoons. And he is extremely thin due to malnourishment. I think we saw that one. I think we saw him. The spoon licker. I know we saw the, what's it called? The meat hook. Because there was somebody that there was with the meat hook. I don't know. We probably saw the pot stealer. Then you have the stubby. He is we saw one that was abnormally short, steals pans to eat and the crust left on them. So pans, I mean, it might be a Nordic or Icelandic dish or something, like a pie. Then it says you have the gully gawk, hides in the gullies waiting for the opportunity to sneak into the cow shed and steal milk. And then you have the shepherd cold clod, harasses sheep but is impaired by his stiff peg legs. So we did see this dude. So we saw some of these. Well, I bet we saw all of them, but we saw these distinctive. That's why that dude asked do you say do you because in there when they meet the Yule lads, one guy asked them do you come up next to sheep and whisper I hate you to them, or do you harass sheep? So he's the sheep cod. So basically he harasses sheep, but he is impaired by his stiff peg legs. And we saw this dude. So basically it says the Yule lads are basically Grila's slaves. So in order for them not to get eaten, they do what she do. And they're not really naughty in my opinion. Like, they are naughty, but they're not like horrible. So it's kind of weird that like she like Kurt said, her a version of what naughty is, like her scale isn't balanced. Naughty to me would be like you attacking someone for no reason. Like, what they're doing is naughty, but it's not like horrible. Like, yes, harassing sheep is wrong, stealing people's leftovers, stealing food, like stealing is wrong, but it's not to the sense where like you need to eat somebody. So basically, they agreed to give the Yule lads the recipe to give to Grilla to eat instead of the people, and she ends up taking it and going back to her cave to go to sleep. And the story behind Grilla, I read as well on Wikipedia that they were saying that she used to be like a person that lived in town, but then she got ran out of town from her cabin, and that's why she lives inside the mountains, like up in the cave in the mountains. But yeah, basically she takes the soup. The Yule lads have the recipe, so now they don't have to kidnap people because they don't like to do it. And what I thought was so sweet was that David used some of his tips to add to Hilda's tips in order to buy not Frida, I'll keep getting Frida and Hilda mixed, in order to give Hilda a chance to give her mom an actual snow globe. So I was like, David is like the best. He's the best. So yeah, I thought it was a cute episode. I enjoyed the episode, and it's more so for me looking up and Googling stuff I've never heard of before. So yeah, that's it, y'all. That's all. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Remember, be bravely authentic and have a good day.